Tonight on the news, President Muhammadu Buhari suspends removal of fuel subsidy till further notice. Plus, Lagos State Governor charges new Commissioner of Police on proactive policing. Good evening and welcome to Nta Lagos Channel 10 News. I am Victoria Olabode. Now the news in detail. The national policy on fifth generation networks for Nigeria digital economy has been launched by President Muhammadu Buhari. Presenting the document to the public, the President directed all the nation's security institutions to immediately leverage the new technologies when deployed to default national security. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
On 5G networks will, amongst others, position Nigeria to effectively harness the potentials of the new technologies towards enhancing the economy, security, and well-being of the nation. With trials already conducted in some selected locations, the policy developed through a painstaking, inclusive, and focused process was said to have effectively addressed health and other concerns. For President Muhammadu Buhari, the policy is in line with the commitment of his administration towards supporting the digital economy sector as an enabler for the diversification of the nation's economy.
5G technologies offer a number of benefits that can support virtually every sector of our economy. For instance, it can enhance connectivity, improve healthcare, support education, foster smart cities, and boost agriculture, among other advantages that it gives. It will also support security institutions and play a key role in boosting our efforts towards enhancing security across the nation.
The national 5G policy includes a deployment plan to ensure that major cities across the country benefit from the technologies, also described as a catalyst for smart cities and a platform for the creation of jobs.
We assure investors that we will continue to provide an enabling environment for their businesses to be very successful as we roll out this technology. I hereby direct the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy to oversee a multi-stakeholder implementation of the policy, and I also urge every stakeholder to ensure compliance, and I look forward to the successful implementation of this important national policy.
The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, applauded by the President for his commitment and consistency in developing Nigeria's digital economy, is confident that given the experiences from other countries and available research, Nigeria would drive maximum benefits from the deployment of the 5G technologies.
A successful 5G deployment globally will increase the global economic output by 12.6 trillion USD. It is because of this, Your Excellency, we feel that if we are proactive in Nigeria, we will be able to dominate at least the African market. 5G deployment could be the biggest revolution for our security institutions to make their work more effective. It will allow them to perform some security operations virtually without exposing personalities to the challenge physically. The same when it comes to transparency. It will support our administration in fighting corruption and corrupt practices.
He thanked President Buhari for his consistent support to the digital economy sector, as a result of which 1,667 projects were successfully executed and significantly impacting on the nation's economy.
As at August 2021, the sector remitted over 1 trillion naira to the federal government of Nigeria within a small period of time.
The national policy on 5G networks was approved by the Federal Executive Council in September last year, and each spectrum for the new technologies was assigned to the winners at 250 billion naira. From the State House, Adam Musambo, NTA News.
To fuel subsidy report, following the engagement with stakeholders, President Muhammadu Buhari has agreed to an extension of the statutory period for the implementation of the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirit in line with existing law. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Timothy Silva, at a special briefing organized by the presidential media team, says government only proposed in 18 months through the National Assembly to carry out necessary adjustments to the Petroleum Industry Act in line with prevailing economic realities. The Senate has received its decision on Clause 84 of the Electoral Act Amendment in 2010 and passed out a harmonized version of both chambers. The Senate had passed the amendment bill approving direct, indirect, and consensus as options for mode of conducting primaries by political parties, but the House of Representatives approved only direct and indirect, rejecting consensus for the harmonized version provided for the direct, indirect, and consensus with clear definition of how a consensus candidate will emerge, which is through a written consent of all cleared aspirants.
To the committee of the whole. Mr. President, with your permission, I wish to move the motion.
The two chambers have produced in this bill now very clear definition of how a consensus candidate would emerge. And therefore, we are very glad that we have been able to achieve this consensus between the two chambers to arrive at this harmonized version. And we are also very optimistic that Mr. President will sign the bill.
Here in Lagos, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has charged the new Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alabi, to surpass the feats recorded by the outgoing CP Odumosu and ensure that policing in the state is proactive to nip criminality in the bud. He gave the charge at the passing out parade to signal the retirement of the 36th Commissioner of Police, Akim Odumosu, in Lagos. Musa Toliat has the details.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said one of the expectations of Lagos residents is to see the new Commissioner of Police reinforce the existing enduring security architecture in the state. He decried the recent spate of violence in some parts of the metropolis and urged CP Alabi to set machinery in motion to curb court clashes and other forms of criminality through proactive policing.
I expect your commitment, I expect your assurances, I expect the security of life and property to even get to a level that will become the envy of everybody in this nation.
There are storms and there are tempestuous periods on this journey. However, in spite of all this, God made me triumph. And that's why I'm alive here to make this positive speech.
Commissioner of Police Abiodun Alabi assured the governor and residents that his approach to policing will revolve around enhanced intelligence gathering and community visibility. Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba was represented by DIG Johnson Kokuma.
Commercializing police service, Akim Odumosu is not in any way involved with mercantile police.
Please, the whole now should be given what is their due attention, attention, and attention.
Today is a clarion call for everybody. If you do it well, you will get it well.
The symbolic pulling out of service to signal the retirement of Assistant Inspector General of Police Hakeem Odumosu was witnessed by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, CP Lagos State, AIG Zone 2, as well as officers and rank and file in Lagos State Police Command. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
NTA Lagos, Channel 10 News will continue after this break. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. In a bid to promote African culture and heritage, the need to inculcate indigenous languages in schools' curriculum has again been emphasized as Adaobi Obiechina takes a look at the sociological values of African heritage and files in this report.
The Day for African and Afro-descendant culture is a day set aside by the United Nations to promote African culture in African continent and Africans in diaspora. Dr. Joy Ekoba of the University of Lagos called on parents and governments at all levels to ensure that African languages, clothes, and cuisines are promoted at every African gathering.
We need to promote it. Let's go back to school, teach our children. At home, parents should begin to teach their children too. We begin to speak our languages to our children, not just the English language that we have all learned and want to take down to the children and force it down to their throat. We have to dress them in our own culture. At schools, we should have our cultural days and we should celebrate it very well. As a nation, if possible, we should have our cultural day as a nation, not just the one that UNESCO has given us. As a people, as African continent, we should come as a nation, have days that we should celebrate ourselves and our culture.
Dr. Olunufeshi Suraj called on government to change school curriculum, teaching and learning of African culture and languages.
We must begin to make the deliberate effort to teach all these things in our own languages. We must also put up history that talks about our identity, our regions. We must begin to see how we can write, how people can be so proficient in their language, and they can bring out knowledge and spread knowledge in that same language. And the teachers also must have a proper orientation. We must stop looking down on people who doesn't speak good English, or people who feel that they cannot express themselves, and because therefore they are not educated. We must start looking away from that. We must start appreciating and promoting the value system in African setting and make it educational standard. In Africa, we have moral values.
Experts are of the opinion that states should set aside a day annually to promote indigenous languages and culture. January 24th annually has been earmarked for the celebration of African and Afro-descendants culture.
Residents of Lagos have reacted on the planned 800 naira levy on commercial buses daily, saying it would increase the hardship faced by citizens. Again, Adaobi Obiechina reports.
The Lagos State government announced the introduction of Consolidation Informal Transport Sector Levy of 800 naira daily to be paid by each driver, saying the initiative, which is to take effect from 1st of February, was to harmonize the taxes paid by transporters to the state government. Some respondents lamented that this will bring untold hardship to the citizens.
Increase the fare of like buses. So like, it's going to affect us definitely.
In the suggestion to that, I would tell the government not to do it. They are paying a lot already, so they should let the driver buses to earn a living by driving their buses and paying money to the Agboros alone.
It will be too cumbersome for people. They should please, because what we are facing now is just too much for us to have additional tax. They should just please and still hold on concerning that situation.
Others are of the opinion that government should ensure that no extra dues are paid aside the stipulated Lagos state government dues.
And then they should make the fuel less money now, so that we'll be able to pay the taxes now. Because once the fuel is high, everything is cost. The tax will be hard on us to pay. With what is happening currently everywhere now, because a lot of this loud misbehaving on the way, if there is a particular amount to be paid, as they stated, the 800 naira, after that, anywhere they go to in Lagos State, they don't have to pay again. I think it's better like that than them being troubled at every bus stop. That's what I think is better like that.
Lagos State Commissioner of Finance reiterated that the levy is daily taxes to the state government coffers.
That was the news. But before we go, always remember, the girl child is the strength of our home and future of our nation. Protect and respect her. Protect her from all form of abuse. Ningaloyede is standing by for the Yoruba translation of the news. I am Victoria Olabodi. Good evening.
Ẹ kú àṣálẹ́ ẹ̀sìnkú dédé àsìkò yìí. Àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀nyín láti iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Gbẹ̀ngàn Olóyèdé ni oníròyìn ìròyìn rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ọ̀gbẹ́ni Babájídé Sanwó-Olú ti rọ kọmíṣánná àwọn ọlọ́pàá tuntun ọ̀gbẹ́ni Abíọ́dún Àlàbí láti tẹ̀lé iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe àkọọ́lẹ̀ tí kọmíṣánná ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó tẹ́lẹ̀rí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akeem Odumosu ṣe kalẹ̀ láti lè rí wípé iṣẹ́ takuntakun tàwọn ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó tẹ̀síwájú ju tàtẹ̀yìnwá láti lè rí wípé onírúurú àwọn ìwà ọ̀daràn di ohun àfẹ́yìn tí egun aláré ń fi ṣọ káàkiri agbègbè ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Gómìnà Babájídé Sanwó-Olú lọ́wọ́ ìyànjú ọ̀hún níbi ètò tí wọ́n tẹ́ pẹpẹ rẹ̀ fún kọmíṣánná àwọn ọlọ́pàá ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akeem Odumosu láti ṣe àpọ́nlé fún kọmíṣánná ọ̀hún tó ti lọ sí ipò gíga òmíràn tó gbà fi fẹ̀yìntì lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kọmíṣánná ọlọ́pàá tuntun ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ọ̀gbẹ́ni Abíọ́dún Àlàbí níbi ètò náà túbọ̀ fọwọ́ sọ̀yà láti rí pé iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe tàwọn ọlọ́pàá ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó túbọ̀ gbilẹ̀ sí àti pàápàá láti túbọ̀ rí wípé ètò ààbò fọwọ́ nílẹ̀ gbọ̀ngbọ̀n káàkiri agbègbè ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Ọ̀kan nínú ìlànà láti mú ìlọsíwájú dé bá ìgbélárugẹ àṣà ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ àti pàápàá láti túbọ̀ mú èdè abínibí jẹyọ nínú ìlànà ẹ̀kọ́ kíkọ́ ní àwọn iléèwé ló jẹ́ ọ̀kan nínú ìgbésẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti yànnàná rẹ̀. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Adáòbí Obéjìnà tó mú ìròyìn wá ojú wo ipò pàtàkì tí èdè abínibí ń kó nínú ìgbélárugẹ àṣà ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló jẹ́ kó di mímọ̀ wípé àyájọ́ ìgbélárugẹ àṣà ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ló jẹ́ ọ̀kan gbòógì ọjọ́ tí àwọn àjọ ìṣọ̀kan àgbáyé yà sọ́tọ̀ láti túbọ̀ mú ìlọsíwájú wáyé fún ìgbélárugẹ àṣà ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ káàkiri àgbáyé àti káàkiri ẹ̀yìn odi lọ́hùn-ún. Ọ̀kan nínú ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n láti ẹ̀ka iléèwé gíga fásitì ti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó Dr. Joy Ekowaba ké pe àwọn òbí àti alágbàtọ́ àti àwọn ẹ̀ka ìṣèjọba láti rí wípé wọ́n gbárùkù mọ́ èdè abínibí ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ àti tí ṣàfihàn aṣọ tó ń gbé àṣà ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ lárugẹ níbi gbogbo. Bákan náà ni Dr. Olúnipèsè Suraj nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tiẹ̀ túbọ̀ ké pe ẹ̀ka ìṣèjọba níbi gbogbo ní ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ láti jọ̀wọ́ fi kíkọ́ èdè ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ sínú ìlànà ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tí wọ́n mọnú ìgbìmọ̀ karahun nínú èròǹgbà wọn dá lámọ̀ràn wípé kí àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ ya àyájọ́ kan sílẹ̀ lọ́dọọdún láti ṣe ìgbélárugẹ ìlọsíwájú èdè abínibí àti gbígbé àṣà lárugẹ. Àwọn ènìyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ni wọ́n ti ń dún mọ̀wúrú látàrí ìlànà tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ nípa gbígba owó tí iyì rẹ̀ tó $800 lọ́wọ́ àwọn awakọ̀ elérò ní gbogbo ọjọ́, èyí tí wọ́n sọ wípé ìlànà gbígba owó náà ni yóò túbọ̀ fa ọ̀pọ̀ ìnira káká fún gbogbo mùtúmùwà àwùjọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Èròǹgbà ohun ìgbésẹ̀ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó tí wọ́n kéde rẹ̀ jáde nípa owó tí iyì rẹ̀ tó $800 ní ẹ̀ka ìrìnnà ọkọ̀ tí àwọn awakọ̀ elérò yóò máa san, èyí tí yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ kìíní oṣù kejì ọdún tí a wà yìí, ni fún àwọn awakọ̀ láti máa san owó orí sínú àpò ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó láti ẹ̀ka ìrìnnà ọkọ̀, èyí tí àwọn ènìyàn olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó sọ wípé yóò túbọ̀ fa ọ̀pọ̀ ìnira káká fún gbogbo ènìyàn ìlú. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀pọ̀ ènìyàn òmíràn sọ wípé kí ìṣèjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó rí wípé wọn kò fi àfikún owó òmíràn kún owó sísan ọ̀hún. Tọ́ kò sọ́jọ́ ta sùn tají tí ò rẹ̀ ni ọpọlọ ọmọdún ànídáràn. Margaret ti wà níkàlẹ̀ láti mú ìyókù ròyìn wá fún ilé èdè Ògùn. Gbẹ̀ngàn orílẹ̀-èdè kìíní ire o.
Meshlen kudole wenu hewe lele son ho auto hetin to aworin lele no Margaret Sinsu. Gómìnà Babátúndé Sanwó-Olú kò fẹ́ because ó zinu deji defie na he basi ogbede topono leton yoyo Abíọ́dún Àlàbí doni jale bo pon wa lo papoto asan he pe gan fún ho Odùmọ̀ṣù kò bá sí tó àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ mọ́rò pọ́wọ́ ìwọ̀sùn níbòsọ́ jẹ́ afọ ẹ̀tọ́mẹ̀ dọ̀ní jàlé gbogbo ọdún pé ẹ́ẹ̀dẹ́ ẹ̀nà ẹ̀kọ́ pé ẹ́ẹ̀tàgbànú lẹ́dọ̀ tó àyímọ́tẹ́ ẹ̀ẹ́nà yìí yẹ pinnu yẹ dúró dín tán pé bá sí ẹ̀nà ẹ̀hẹ́ bá sí gbọ̀n ṣíròpótọ́ èsì òdín tán pé náà ẹ̀ bá sí ògbèdè tọ́pọ̀nà tán ẹ̀ bá sí Akíìmù Odùmọ̀ṣù tó àwọnrin Musa tọ́lé àti hẹ̀gì gọ̀gọ̀dẹ̀ fíè dọ́tọ̀ àyà jíjẹ lọ́jí wúwẹ̀ ẹnẹ̀ ògbèdè tọ́yọ́yọ́ lọ́kọ̀ asọ́hìá dẹ̀ fíè dọ́ẹ́mìíràn sá òhun ègbè mi pé gbóná mọ̀dọ̀ òpinnu èsì òtítọ́ èkó tí àyè ẹ máa gbèsè mọ́rọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀ lásán tí do nǹkan yìí dógbọ́ ẹ̀rọ asọ́hìá dẹ̀ fíè dọ́dọ̀ kódó òtẹ́ nítàpọ̀ èmi náà wà sàn dàgbé gbẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀dọ̀ fọ́tò ẹni àyájì jẹ́ lójílẹ̀ yìí mẹ́pọ̀ ẹ̀dẹ̀fẹ̀ àwọn apònùnù kan tọ́lọ́ lọ́ní má gbọ́jẹ́ blú. Ó ti fẹ́tọ̀ òhun ẹ̀tọ́mẹ̀mẹ̀ yìí gba èsì jọ àmọ́ èsì ó ti tó nídóyì ló dàgbé jíbó sọ́tì dòdòdó gbódò òdò lílo dàgbé pótó ẹnẹ òtò gbóhìnẹ ẹhẹwẹ ní òfódé jíhèyè sínú tó àyájì jẹ he wáyé nádódé yẹ he bá sí jọ àmọ́ èsì ó ti tó lẹ́tàn lẹ́lẹ́ sán tọ́mí tán adá òbí òṣèna ẹhẹ gígọgọdẹ fíè dọdọ ehe yi òdòdó de n'adonye òdòdó he títò he bá sí jọ àmọ́ èsì òtítò lẹ́mẹ̀tòtò gbóhèmẹ̀ mọ́rọ̀pọ̀wọ́ ẹ̀ náà sọ́sán gbọ́jọ́ àmọ́ èsì òmùkọ̀ yìí ẹ̀ náà lòdò tòótò gbómi tọ́mẹ̀ ẹ̀ wá sọ yìí àdèfẹ́rọ̀ mẹ́yò yé gbà èsì jọ àmọ́ èsì òtítò wáyé jùlọ námúrọ̀ yìí ná òmùkọ̀ yìí tó wèrè pépé nù na ojo àmọ́ èsì òtítọ́ lọ nígbà tó bùnú tó ayọ̀ tó gbómi tọ́mẹ̀. Ó di fíèyè kò sọ́yè àbùkù sọ́ọ̀zìnù léjì àròpọ̀ ẹni máa yìí mèhe bá sí òun kò tọ́lẹ̀ òhó èwẹ̀yìn ònú ègbẹ̀tọ́lẹ̀ kúdọ̀ kódó dọ́dọ̀ yìí nánà náírà fẹ̀nẹ̀dì fíè tó gbèrò pọ̀ nídọ̀ yìí tó ń kùn ehe ní òdòdó de di onule gbetole he lele shanto mi ton ada obi shina kan obio yeso ya te fere he na he tukada owa moro po e mana san bera bo aguda to vile do ohun kun tole bodo ohun na le po yi na se akwedo ohun kwaji ehe masona alogo yeme he basi o to vile beto he dokulole yeso aso ya te fere na olu aholudu ho nipa lopade vo he si gando basi bo he mana he tuka bodo agbasa sisi epo wa na o to vile to awon yi ma te do yi ni chale bo fojo gbopon de o to gbo mi tan Nigeria de te fi egbo to akwehopo bo he akwelowado na ohun na le Meshleg shlo e mahule kaka ye so he mi aso pe me ko da ze gbe etan esi kre